Welcome, everyone, to the Heaven on Earth Prayer Collective. My name is Kaia Ra, and I'm the author of the Sophia Code. It is so wonderful to see so many of you here live with us today as we join our hearts together in prayer, meditation, and receiving the channeled transmissions of the Ascended Masters of the Sophia Dragon Tribe. It's always such a joy to see the depth of our community, how powerful, creative, loving, and kind our international community of lightworkers really is. The Lions Gate has always been incredibly dear to my heart as a holiday. And where was it a holiday? For those of you who are new to the concept of the Lions Gate, the Lions Gate celebrated the Sirian alignment with the earth for a period of 3 weeks in ancient Egypt. It was also a time of celebration for harvesting and marveling at the abundance of what was grown in the seasons leading up to the Lion's Gate, what was given away, what was received. It was a deep time of temple ritual, ceremony, and during the time of Hathor, also the visions that I've had is that there were many Syrian ships that would come to the earth and visit the earth at that time in celebration of the diplomatic spiritual work that was being done between the nation of Hathor here on earth before her ascension and different Syrian ambassadorships that were interacting with humanity at that time. This is hundreds of thousands of years ago. And so, what I find so beautiful about the reemergence of the Lion's Gate being celebrated in a modern context is, especially for the Sophia Code community, we have a full body awareness of previous lifetimes connected to golden ages, such as when Hathor and Isis walked the earth. For some of us, it's Green Tara, who we've been journeying with for the 8 Days of Abundance on YouTube Live on my channel, Kaia Ra Official. Please be sure to check out that series during this Lionsgate portal because, wow, there are a lot of truth bombs there and some seriously activating transmissions from Green Tara and the Dakinis. But that golden age, Green Tara shares about how she inspired the golden age of Shambhala in Tibet at one point on the planet. So these are the three main mentors that are going to be guiding us from the Sophia Code teachings in today's Lionsgate Abundance Transmission. All three of these key code mentors featured in the Sophia Code are directly associated with the star system Sirius, of course, with Isis's profound ceremonial work during the Syrian Lion's Gate alignment, of course, with Hathor's interdimensional ambassadorship of Christ consciousness between Sirius and Earth. And also, we know that it was from the Sirius star nation that Green Tara ascended. And in her ascension, she was invited by the Divine Mother to become an ascended master, teacher, mentor, and spiritual guide for humanity here on Earth. So there's this Syrian alignment that's happening. And what's so interesting about Sirius, which Green Tara shares about in her chapter of the Sophia Code, is that the Syrian star nation, it was a planet that merged with its sun. That's how planets ascend. The physical planet merges with the star that they're orbiting, the star and the sun and the earth, whatever the terra, the physicality of that planet, they become one. And so I've witnessed this in other star nations, including the Pleiades. And so what happens is that planet ascends into a much higher vibrational resonance where the density of the planet is so in tune with the radiant light of the star that has been nourishing the planet that they harmonize in such a way that they become a vibrational match. It's like a cataclysmic tantric union between that which is being nurtured by the light and the light that is merging with that which it has been a part of creating. it's an incredibly spiritual cosmic phenomenon that happens after, honestly, eons of a planet's evolution and a species evolution. So when we are mentoring with Green Tara, when we choose to consciously connect with Hathor and Isis, we are mentoring with guides who are extremely familiar with the concept of a planet's ascension, with the concept of humanity's ability to ascend. You know, the Hathor Star Nation were individuals that walked with Hathor on the planet physically and who chose to ascend with her when she decided that she had, completed her purpose for being on this planet. So when we are connecting with these three ascended master mentors and their overarching transmissions of the Sophia Code, we're calling in some big Maha energy. And very often you will find that when you walk through the first key code, three key code initiations of the Sophia Code, because all 8 of them activate your divine genome. However, the first 3 key codes are some of the most heavy hitting key code initiations in the book. So usually by the time you get to the Green Tara key code 3 initiation, you've had multiple psychic surgeries, whether you are conscious of them or not, from reading these key code initiations out loud and listening to them as you integrate. What is that? What are those psychic surgeries? What's happening in those psychic surgeries with your higher self and the ascended masters supporting your human awareness to heal, grow, release, evolve, become, far more awakened in your journey of enlightenment? What's happening is you are extracting the vows, the belief systems, the cords, the weapons of other ages that have been either used against yourself or that you have been inflicted with in other lifetimes. And so as you walk through those first 3 key code initiations, people are often exhausted by the time they get to Green Tara because they have been radically facing the shadow spaces of their soul. Because every time we choose to incarnate into form, the soul gets very, very excited. Your soul gets very excited because you have an opportunity to physically transmute and grow beyond the karmic lessons of all your previous lifetimes, or however many lifetimes that you feel like you have the courage and the strength to face within a single lifetime. So when we come into contact with Isis and Hathor and Green Tara, number one, their first mode of psychic surgery is to confront your awareness with your greatness. Isn't that interesting? That's what the Sophia Code as a living transmission is always doing. It's confronting you. It is staggering your own awareness with the greatness of your soul, the truth of your sovereign divinity, which is, as we shared about all week long in the Green Tara journey, it is the source of your abundance. Now, as you are confronted with the totality, the invincibility, the overflowing prosperity of the radiant light of your own soul, what happens is there's a simultaneous triggering that can feel very uncomfortable at times, where your consciousness wants to be acknowledged for all the ways that you have been separated from the truth of who you really are. What's so interesting about Isis, Hathor, and Green Tara is that they are radical psychic surgeons. They're doctors for the soul. They know how to extract some of the darkest energies out of the human consciousness. I mean, look at the imagery of the Dakinis with their fiery swords, and the heads of demons that they have cut off on behalf of your journey of enlightenment that you would see in a Tanka. Whenever there's something truly dark happening that needs extraction or support, even at an exorcism level, calling in Isis, my God, she can take out the trash. I mean, she was often called upon in ancient Egypt to unravel spells of black magic, which is what humanity is under right now, spells of black magic, including the black magic spells that there is a lack of resources on this planet, and that everyone needs to go into a tailspin about the resources that are available. There's a forced agenda of inflation and food shortages that we've been seeing unpacking itself all year long. But we must understand that whatever, and I believe that most everyone on this call does know this, that what we're seeing from the propaganda machine is an agenda. It is a pre-programmed agenda to separate us from the truth of who we are and the truth of what this planet is, which is pure and absolute abundance. So, this conversation about abundance, this dialogue about prosperity consciousness has actually never been more important. It's never been more important to mentor with these three key codes to face the overwhelming fear and maybe even terror that is being drummed up around abundance, around financial well being, around prosperity. Because these individuals, these powers that are drumming up this level of fear, they want humanity to remain in a state of panic. We've made it through all of the programming of the pandemic, and now they want to bring us into a state of fear around food shortages and the ways that the monetary system can be manipulated. Here's the thing, angels. We came here to be the revolution. We came here to create a revolutionary harmonic convergence, a unification of our body, hearts, and minds, both for our own hearts first, but then as a international, a global community whose radiance and the belief of who we really are and the belief of the overflowing abundance of our source sends out massive waves of healing light as well as co-creative sovereignty across this planet that helps elevate those individuals on this planet that do not want to buy into those agendas, that want to live beyond those fears and continue to prosper. There are many people who chose to continue to prosper and remain financially solvent throughout the pandemic when everything was being shut down, every challenge was being posed to business owners, people were being threatened for their livelihoods over a medical decision. We just got through that. That was a really big deal. And parts of the world are still getting through that. It's important for us to recognize how strong we are, how masterful we are, how creative we are to face that much global oppression, and still we rise up. Still we choose to create our destinies. We choose to be the beacons of attunement for the rest of the world to know there is sanity here. There is sanity through divine love. There is sanity through the remembrance of our true source, which is an ever-flowing abundant source. And so today is a wonderful opportunity in this 3-week portal, which culminates in that August 8th, Monday Lions. That's when the Lions Gate is kind of officially celebrated in the spiritual community. But these 3 weeks leading up to August 8th, it's all about that Leo energy. We are in the gate of Leo. We are in the gate of that Leo archetypal energy. Are you willing to be seen as radiant, successful, and abundant? Are you willing to feel yourself in your own radiance? Are you willing to practice both receptivity and generosity? Are you willing to know that your soul is like the sun in the sky, that life here on earth is warmed by, it is grown fuller by the light, the radiance of your own soul, your higher self here within your human body? The light bright side of Leo, and every astrological sign is has its both its light and its darkness to it, both its light and its shadow. But the light medicine of Leo is knowing that you and God are one, and that you deserve every richness, you deserve every accolade, you deserve every level of support for your light to continue to shine and bring blessings to everyone in this world. And whether you are under the sign of Leo or not, this Leo, every sign in the zodiac is teaching us about an aspect of being human. And so the lion's gate is the mouth of the lion. It's when we look into the very depths of our own soul to discover the radiance that wants to pour forth in this lifetime, both from our hearts and our message and our embodiment. These three key code mentors, Isis, Hathor, and Green Tara, man, do they blaze in their radiance. I mean, Green Tara is she of 1,000 stars. Isis is she of 1,000 names because she had countless accolades praising how much she guided and led the Egyptians into a full-blown awakened golden age of enlightenment. And of course, we know her mentor, Hathor, was so multidimensional, so powerful that she consciously chose to ascend, and she would shapeshift in front of all of her initiates. So we're talking about some heavy hidden mentors here that are welcoming us into this Lionsgate ceremony today. And so for those of you who are completely new to the Sophia Code Mystery School, to our movement, I just want to extend a warm welcome from my heart to yours. There's a kind of a lifelong journey you can go on with the Sophia Code teachings. So what's important to know is that the transmission itself is here to minister to your heart. The healing that we will be receiving from these ascended masters will be blessing you beyond any words or understanding. And so it's safe to let go and to receive. And it's also important for everyone to know that all names of God are welcome here. We happen to call the presence of the Divine Mother aspect of God, Sophia. But again, whatever you call God, whether it's Great Spirit, the Christ, the Buddha, Holy Spirit, your presence as a part of the presence of God is so welcomed here. And so together, let us join our hearts. Now that we're all here online together, let's take this opportunity to really go into a higher state of consciousness, to connect to each other's hearts, and most importantly, to really ground into the power and presence of your own sacred heart on this special day. So as many of us know, the first thing that we do is we're going to call in your circle of empowerment. There's already thousands of guides that are here with us, already supporting today's transmission, but let's consciously invoke our beloved mentors together. So I invite you to visualize a circle of empowerment, a circle of light that is drawn anywhere between 3 to 6 feet outside of your body. And you are at the center of your circle. There are different colors that are the color of prosperity. You might visualize a ruby red circle of light, or a violet flame circle of light, rich purple, violet purple. You may also consider an emerald circle of light, or a beautiful iridescent white light. Whatever color comes to you intuitively is perfect for you today. And so sitting in your very powerful circle of light, I'm witnessing that many dimensional realities are already open to you in this Lionsgate portal. And so I'm welcoming your higher self to already begin the process of interfacing the higher dimensional realms that are seeking to bless you, and have them connect into that circle of empowerment around your body, not necessarily your body, but into that circle of empowerment. Because it's important whenever you receive blessings or gifts or healing from other beings or other dimensional realities, that you can really feel yourself in that receiving process. It's important to feel your sovereignty and to know your sovereignty. So this circle of empowerment is a circle of sovereign Christ light. It's a circle being drawn from your own soul. Hmm. And at this time, we welcome the presence of your higher self to already start to make itself known to your awareness within your body. We invoke every cell of your body to come into harmonic convergence with the unified field of your being, all of your light bodies, your physical body becoming consciously in tune with all of the meridians flowing through your body, your conscious awareness coming in tune to the 8 major chakra system within your body, and all of the other chakras that continue up above you and beneath you, coming into conscious awareness of the many wheels of light that digest energy, information, consciousness to create your physical form, becoming very conscious of your physical body in communion with the light of your higher self, the consciousness of your higher self within every cell of your body. You may start to feel your body humming or buzzing, becoming very conscious within your body that there is a sacred flame, a sacred reserve of energy that begins to awaken at the base of your spine in your root chakra. And it begins to climb that tree of life, that golden neurology up your back. These 2 dragons of light begin the journey of climbing up your spinal column, blessing each of your major chakras within your body, taking 3 deep breaths into your body, noticing where your body is breathing. Can you be aware of that Kundalini energy climbing the tree of life within you, even as you stay in communion with the rising and the falling of your breath? And as you are beginning to become very much more present within your body, very much more alive and conscious of every cell in your body that are so very have such a big prayer to be working in harmony with one another, to be most importantly working in harmony with your awareness, and for your awareness to be working in full operational harmony with your higher self. We welcome the first 8 revealed key codes that support the full unfoldment, the full sovereign embodiment of your divinity in human form, which must become a conscious process that happens within your body. And so we welcome in the north the presence, the guiding light power, the divine feminine Christ embodiment of white buffalo woman and the white buffalo star nation that are arriving in the north with joy and victory trills. I also honor the order of sky grandmothers that are arriving in the north on behalf of today's Lionsgate celebration. In the Northeast, I welcome the radiant, the bejeweled, the sovereign queen, Isis, stepping forward. Beloved Ascended Master Isis, she is wearing this exceptional purple gown that has all of these gold accents. Today, she also has this white sheath. It's very elaborate that's connected to her gown. And she's lifted her wings high. Today I'm seeing her wings as white angel wings with a golden sheen and some purple feathers on the inside, on the interior of those wings. And she's lifting her wings up high, singing a blessing over our community. Thank you, Ascended Master Isis, for your guiding light presence for today's call and gathering. In the east, we welcome radiant golden Hathor, who is arriving with many ships, the Hathor Star Nation behind her, those wheels within wheels of light, those singing eyes and wings and tongues of fire that are come in attendance with Hathor, bringing their blessings of abundance into our conscious awareness today. And I'm already receiving a message from the Hathor Star Nation They are saying, remember the time when humanity walked the earth, when humanity lacked for nothing, and everyone walked in equality. Everyone walked as the royal ones that they were created to be. And they said, remember that it is, they're saying, remember that in our key code 2 transmission, the initiation in the Sophia Code, they are repairing your DNA from the tampering of other species in your DNA. So humanity began to go through a breaking down process when other species started to tamper with the human genetics of our species. And so they're saying, remember, you are a light worker who is consciously aware that you have the power to activate your own divine genome, the divine genome of your soul. On the light of those crystalline chromosomes, the crystalline light and consciousness of those crystalline chromosomes, when you consciously link them up to your biological DNA, which is what happens in the key code 2 initiation, the Hathor Star Nation is saying this is rewriting the slavery consciousness that was put into a dumbed down version of humanity's genetic material. And so they're congratulating you for finding a conscious community that actually has a full body knowing that the divine genome can be activated and can start to overwrite and operate your physical DNA according to the divine mother's consciousness who seeks to prosper you in all ways. Your divinity is abundance. It is prosperity. It is psychic. It is intuition. Your divinity is generosity, kindness, and compassion. Your divinity is overflowing divine love. You don't have to create any of that. You do have to come back into alignment with it. And that is the journey of the spiritual practice, coming back into alignment of who you really are. And part of that process is consciously activating the spiritual technology of your body, which is what we do in all of our ceremonies and our prayer collective calls and our curriculums. It's what we've based this entire movement on, is the activation of your spiritual technology and the mentorship of the ascended masters for how we can live and operate our minds according to our higher selves perspective as to why we're here. So the Hathors are congratulating you, and you may feel a golden ray of light beginning to bless you from your crown to your root as they already begin their healing. I suppose it's like a healing transmission that's already coming through directly from the seventh plane, where instantaneous miracles and divine knowing exists and download into our reality. And in the Southeast, supporting that Hathor transmission, we welcome green Tara. I welcome white Tara. I welcome all of the 21 emanations of Tara. On the order of Dakinis, the sky dancers who have come to act as guardian angels for your journey of awakening, for your relinquishing of the pain and suffering of previous lifetimes, and for taking up the path of prosperity consciousness in such a way that your human lifetime, this lifetime, is designed to have a magnificent impact on the future of humanity. And you deserve, what I'm hearing from the Dakinis, you deserve to receive the blessing first, really all of the blessings first, as you have come here to bless others. And so really receiving that message from the Dakinis as we welcome Mother Mary in the South, who's arriving with this massive, huge sacred flame, like this royal blue sacred flame. And the Order of the Blue Ray and her attendants, the angelic order that attends Mother Mary's Key Code 4 transmission. And I'm welcoming also, of course, wherever there's Mother Mary, right there with her is Mary Magdalene and Ascended Master Jesus and the entire Order of Magdalena, including Saint Joan of Arc, all of which who are arriving in the Southwest, bringing forth those waters of abundance. We welcome Kuan Yin in the West, along with Mahavatar Babaji and Paramahansa Yogananda, who was a very, who's now an Ascended Master himself, who joins us in the West because of his devotion to Babaji, and how he has presented us an understanding of how abundance and prosperity can serve movements, ministries, light work, and our spiritual leadership. Babaji was very welcoming of the support that he received so that his movement could grow and expand and reach as many hearts and lives as possible. And I think we have a lot to learn from his living example that, so freshly ascended over within our own, the past 100 years. I'd like to also welcome in the Northwest. I mean, there's no greater guide to overflowing prosperity and abundance than the dragon archetype. And the dragons that we work with are actually angelic beings. They are not dragons of this world. They are the holy, fiery creatures of God, the holy seraphim. We welcome in the Sophia dragons in the Northwest. And they are arriving with every different ray of color and consciousness in the Northwest, which is the direction of the magical helpers, the magical ones that are here to bless us far beyond our understanding, and to invite us back into the truth of our own magic, our own sovereign divine magic, which is here to create abundance, which is here to live prosperously. And that divine creative magic within us that has the ability to receive simply because of who you are. And when we are in a conversation around and a prayer around abundance, there's both the active principle and the receptive principle, the principle of stillness. And the Sophia dragons and all of the key codes embody both aspects of abundance, the ability to receive that divine inheritance and manifesting in many, many forms to support their divine purpose and their heroic human journey, but also the ability to creatively act and co-create that abundance and that prosperity for their own ministries. They give us examples of what that looks like to be stewards of resources and to be guides for community evolution that creates greater wealth for all, greater experiences of abundance, such as an abundance of love, an abundance of healing, an abundance of co-creation, an abundance of co-parenting, co-uprising. There's abundance, as we've discussed in the past 8 days of Green Tara on YouTube Live. Abundance can be an abundance of anything that brings goodness into your life, that uplifts your life, that encourages your life, that expands your relationship with life. And when we step into prosperity consciousness, we are choosing to become spiritually mature enough to direct our abundance consciousness to that which we are desiring to expand upon. So to prosper anything is to expand, to amplify, to appreciate, to value something's contribution to your life so much that you decide to focus more energy and direction to that area of your life that you would seek to grow, to prosper more of. And so when we are having a conversation, when we're coming into alignment with our prayer for greater abundance and greater prosperity, we have to understand it's a prayer for expansion. And the prayer to expand is almost always met with resistance from the ego structure and resistance to former belief systems and former traumas that are keeping us in a contracted state from that expansion. This is why I personally do not care what you want to focus your abundance practice upon, because I know from the perspective of my higher self and the perspective of the Ascended Masters that anything you practice abundance consciousness will by default teach you how to soften and move beyond the resistances of expanding in any other area of your life that has greater contraction. So if you find it more easy to prosper financially, it might You might have more resistances to expanding in an abundance of love, whether that's romantic love or familial love or friendship love or community love. You might be very lucky in love, shall we say. You might be able to easily manifest different forms of relationships that bring a lot of support into your life, but perhaps you feel more contracted around the subject of money or financial stewardship. It's like none of that. When we recognize where the trigger point is, what we can do is we can come back with the ascended masters and identify, oh, my journey of abundance is my journey of expansion. What am I afraid of expanding into? What belief systems have I been using against myself to hold myself back from greater expansion, greater connection, deeper communion, greater movement in life, things picking up instead of slowing down, or things deepening instead of being so shallow? The journey of abundance is always taking us towards our greatness, never away from it. And so, this is why we now invoke the Sirian White Lions to our prayer collective call. Because if you want to truly study and emulate what it is like to embody your greatness, walk with the lions. I dare you. I dare you to walk with the lions. If you've ever walked next to a lion or ridden a vehicle next to a lion, it is absolutely electrifying. They are nothing but muscle. They are nothing but power and strength. There is not an ounce of apology for who they are. They move with such deft intuition that to be in their presence is to know oneness with the ferocity of our creator, of our source, the love of our creator, the loyalty of our creator, the radiance of our creator. And that creator that created you in the likeness of that which you came from, whether you call God she or he or they. That divine essence made you one and the same as it. And so when you walk with the presence of the lions, you are walking with a perfect mirror of your own soul. And you probably will walk a little bit more up, like standing upright and not slouching, because being around a lion is electrifying. And all of your cells are awake and in attendance and online and fully present. And so at this time, I welcome your consciousness to relax, to celebrate, and welcome the presence of the Sirian White Lions into this temple space. I call forth a divine healing of grace. We welcome you to the temple of Sophia, where all of the ascended masters have gathered, where the archangels and the angels of abundance have created a special temple space just for you, just for this day. And there are honestly hundreds of lions in this temple space. And they are welcoming you to the center of this temple, where there is a very, like a brilliant, radiant light of the presence of God, which I call Sophia. She has created this pillar of light for you to step within, to feel yourself being purified on every level of your being and across all of your lifetimes within this brilliant, like it's like you're standing within the center of a star, just like how we described the planet Karnak in the Sirius star nation, merging with that star in the Sirius constellation, becoming one, your human body becoming one with your soul star at the center of this temple. I'm witnessing that there are lions moving in concentric circles around you. The ascended masters they're at a higher level than the lions. The lions are holding it down on the ground where you stand at the center of the temple. There are some lions that are walking and roaring in a clockwise position, spiraling east sunwise. There are other lions walking in a counterclockwise position, and they're responsible for roaring and towards your past or any regrets that you may have about feeling separated from the greatness of your soul, feeling as though you, maybe for the chaos that is currently in your life, from um, not feeling as though you can fully claim the totality of who you are, your greatness. And just noticing how much compassion and power and ferocity that these lions are walking with you on behalf of your light, behalf of your spiritual journey of awakening. Many of these white lions, they're rejoicing because they're in the presence of the white buffalo. They're so happy to be recognized as these fierce guides of grace. And I'm also witnessing the presence of Sekhmet arriving as well, with Isis and Hathor in the northeast and the east. And there's one particular white lion that is walking towards you directly as you stand within that pillar of that soul star of light, center of the temple. And she's asking for you to share your prayer with her. What have you been recognizing over the past 3 weeks that you need more of in your life? What has been coming up for you, both in what's being triggered, but also like, what is the prayer? Where is abundance consciousness calling you into greater like empowerment, sobriety, recognition of any action steps, or simply a declaration of what you are ready to own for yourself, as it's no longer an idea of like something you might want or like, it's like something you need. You get it now. This was never a want. It actually has been a need this whole time. And she's staring directly into your eyes, and her eyes have this bejeweled color to them. Allow her consciousness to support you and to strengthen you to roar into this space what you genuinely need at this point in your lifetime here, as a light worker, as a very courageous human being. I'm just going to create that sacred silence for you to be here with this lioness or this lion as they witness you, empowering, declaring what it is that you need more abundantly in your life. And you may begin to feel this lion or lioness walking closer to you now and sniffing different parts of your body. You may feel their long whiskers or perhaps the fur of their ear rubbing up against you. You may feel a paw being placed on a certain body part. And I welcome you to be curious, to just let them show you where in your body there's been a contraction from receiving this declaration that you just shared with them. And when you're ready, ask that part of your body if there's any message that you need to receive from this part of your body. It might come to you in images or a vision or even words. Allow this lion, this white lion spirit, to help you soften to receive the message of what's really ready to release now, so that this abundant declaration can become your reality. And notice that this lion begins to like purr and kind of rub like the front of their face up against this part of your body. It's almost as though they're massaging those resistances to soften. This big purr. They might even lick that area a little bit, just cleaning out any wounded areas on your behalf. Maybe there's just a huge roar. I just felt like a huge roar right into my heart chakra. like, woo, thank you very much. And you may start to hear the other white lions in attendance in the temple roaring with this lion that's attending to you. The lions just love to celebrate through roaring. It's just so powerful when they lift up their voices, and their voices can travel for close to 2 miles, the sound of their roar. So as they are roaring over you, they're sending out the transmission in every direction of your life that's heralding a change is happening right now. You're identifying where you have been deeply called to prosper and allow abundance to flow. And today is the day that you can make that commitment for those areas of your life to start to soften and follow the advice, the wisdom that you are receiving here and now. And as this beautiful white lion continues to be with you as a spiritual guide and mentor for this prayer of greater abundance and greater prosperity consciousness to permeate and to guide your life beyond the fears of these times into truly recognizing how much heaven you are here to create here on earth through your daily embodiment of your divine consciousness. I welcome the presence of Isis and Hathor and Green Tara. They are each stepping forward from your circle of empowerment. Their pillars of light are still there, creating that circle of empowerment with you. And I welcome your higher self to be directing this trinity of healing. But as they're stepping closer to you now, and Hathor is standing in front of you. Isis is standing to your right, and Green Tara has positioned herself at your left side. And they're creating this trinity of empowerment and of healing. And so you're going to start to feel the presence of rays of light emanating from each of the hearts of these key code ascended masters. Whew, wow. It's like a cocktail of multidimensional divine seventh plane elixir goodness. Whoa. So we've got these violet rays and flames from Isis that are beginning to flow in on your right side, and they're helping to recalibrate, restructure your concept of action, how action can produce abundance or prosperity. And she's saying, well, it's actually divinely guided action. It's intuitive based action. It's not working harder. It's when we work smarter. It's when we're intuitively co-creating that we receive the greatest results of our co-creative efforts, our co-creative actions. And that's what the right side is often associated with, the masculine, um, taking action. And so that's why Isis is standing there with the violet flame, helping us to adjust an addiction to overwork, to recalibrate from working harder to working smarter, to joyfully co creating with the source for greater results to bless your life when you have received divinely guided action. And also with this violet flame, she's saying the discernment to know when to act and when to rest, recalibrating that your nervous system into a more balanced, harmonic state of symbiosis with the truth of reality, not the fearful programming of the matrix. Standing in front of you is beautiful Hathor. And you may feel her song. Like I'm seeing her in a very, she shapeshifts whenever I witness her. Like when I witness the masters through my third eye, it's like watching a movie and witnessing her face shape shifting into a Syrian, different Syrian expressions, Syrian forms. And her hands have remained human hands, and she is sending out from her hands these light waves of sonic healing. And I'm also witnessing a whole pod of dolphins arriving. Been working a lot with the dolphins since our Sophia Circle leaders trip to swim with the wild dolphins of Bimini. And welcoming those dolphins, joining with the Hathor's transmission. You're going to feel waves of light that look serpentine, like the way that they move. They have an S curve to them. And they're being directed to your eyes and the back of your neck, your heart, and your shoulders. And Hathor is saying, this is a clearing to stop speaking against yourself, to choose your words wisely, and to remember how the power of your word is truly an omniscient divine force that creates your reality. And so she's saying it's important, of course, to always be clear and to cleanse frustrations, anger, resentment about deficiencies where separation has created deficiencies in your life through lack consciousness. But she's saying use the power of your voice to express your feelings, but then also use the power of your voice to forgive yourself. Because as we discovered in the 8 days of abundance with Green Tara, the journey we just went on together, when we forgive ourselves, that creates the cleansing rains where we free ourselves from punishing ourselves for past regrets, past debts, past losses. We clear the inner space to become fertile ground for new gardens to grow with greater wisdom and discernment of how to steward our resources moving forward. Hathor is saying, be very, very, very careful with your tongue and how you may be speaking against yourself. And she's activating and bringing a great radiant transmission to your throat, to your third eye, to your self-perception. She's saying, turn back to yourself, dear one, during this Lion's Gate. Turn back to the golden radiance of your own divine light, the wellspring of eternal abundance that is perpetually arising from your soul into this world as your human embodiment. And her voice is bringing the soothing tones to different places across your heart and your stomach and your sacral chakra. And you may feel different mini chakras, not the major chakras, mini chakras of light that are being activated and opened by Hathor's voice. Hathor's sharing that so much of the clearing that you've been experiencing from this new moon in Leo and during this Lionsgate portal, she said it's been to release all of the subtle belief systems that have been sort of nagging and holding you back. Might not have been as in your face in the past of things that you've worked through. She said, these are the subtle fine tuning adjustments that have been opening up and clearing because many of us have been on our path for a very long time, and our prayer for greater abundance, our prayer for sustainable prosperity, it's a big prayer, and it's a prayer that deserves to be answered. And we are the ones answering those prayers by choosing to continue to be faithful to that fine tuning process of clearing out those subtle resistances to the full radiance that we are, that you are. And I'm feeling the presence of Green Tara, who's just delighting in the Sirian transmission with the White Lions and Isis and Hathor, profoundly blessing you. And I'm witnessing Green Tara bringing her hand to the back of your crown chakra, and she just lightly taps there. And as she does, you're going to feel this crown of stars rise up out of your crown chakra. And she's placing this wand in your left hand, and it's a wand that has a beautiful shining star at the tip. And she said, what if you were your own fairy godmother? What if you were to believe in yourself at that level? She says, some of you are. Some of you are starting to play the game of being your own fairy godmother in this physical reality. And she's saying, my prayer for your community is that you will all start to play at that level of belief in yourself, to fully claim your sovereign self-worth, and to identify that the more you claim how worthy you are to receive abundance, to receive the abundant support that you deserve, to co-create greatness with others, and to shine in your greatness side by side with others who are shining in their greatness. She said, this is the fairy godmother energy of the universe. That's what we all came here to embody together as a community and our co-creative leadership. And she's saying, what does it feel like to hold this wand in your hand? Does it feel powerful? Do you feel worthy of it? And she's inviting you that if you do feel worthy of it, what would it feel like to bless yourself with this fairy godmother wand? Pick a part of your body, just maybe wiggle that wand right over your head. And what happens? Does your body shape shift? Are you wearing different attire? Is there a part of your inner child that's absolutely delighted for your adult awareness to be remembering the magic that you are? I invite you to take that wand, and all the lions are going to join in this moment with you. Point the wand in front of you, and whatever it is that you want to bring forth into this reality, visualize the full vision of it as though it's already happened, maybe 10 to 20 years in the future, and point your wand at it and send the light out from the star. And just witness how the starlight running from your arm through the wand to the vision in front of you creates something so beautiful that the lions start to roar in unison, in gratitude and excitement, cheering you on. And notice that the magic that created all of that vision to come together, it's streaming in from different points of the universe and from different hearts on the planet. But it was your willingness to focus upon it that converged all of those co-creative factors to come together and work together as one in that vision. Green Tara is sharing during the Science Gate, remember who you really are. And as you choose to focus upon that which you really are, which the Sophia dragons share about, teach us about in chapter 13 of the Sophia Code extensively, we start to shape shift into a much physically bigger version of ourselves. When you are embodying greater and greater levels of prosperity consciousness, have you noticed that the homes that you live in start to expand, or the vehicles start to look differently, or the places that you travel start to expand? Things expand, they grow in unusual and different directions. They start to, reality starts to move in harmony with a much larger version of yourself. Things become dragon sized. And so the Sophia dragons are here to close out this Lionsgate transmission. And there's this one wonderful Sophia dragon mother that is floating down from the temple ceiling all the way down in front of you. And many of the lions are running over to her, and they're starting to like purr and rub up against her because they just love the Sophia dragon mothers. And they're all just so happy. Like the dragons and the lions, the ascended masters, the angels, they're so happy that you've been enjoying the resonance of this full-blown abundance transmission for this long. They're just like, abide here, abide here. And if you practice abundance consciousness, you will become this transmission in your life when you keep tuning into that which is real, which is the overflowing divine love of the universe that wants to prosper you in all ways. But we've got to want to prosper us in all ways. We have to be willing to say that mantra again and again. Say it with me. Yes. Thank you. I accept. I receive. Yes. Thank you. I accept. I receive. Yes. Thank you. I accept. I receive. And with that statement, the Sophia dragon is blessing you with her presence. She is breathing the breath of life over you. You may feel a rush of crystalline stardust, blessing you from your crown all the way down to your tail and your feet. And that blessing runs all the way from your seat to the very heart of the Mother Earth. And you may feel the golden dragon scales of your light body rippling in joy to be in the presence of the Sophia dragon mother blessing you. And you're going to start to see and witness these little flames coming off of her scales that start to orbit around you. Sacred flames of like prosperous good fortune. And they start to whirl around you to help turn the wheel of your karmic releases, as well as your invitations to grace, to receive different destiny points for the rest of this year into the next Lion's Gate of manifestations that have always been there, waiting for you to be ready to receive them. These sacred flames are activating different points in your light bodies and in your consciousness to finally say yes. Yes, yes, I'm good enough for that. Yes, thank you. I accept. I receive. And so noticing if these flames are already opening up the different portals of manifestation, and your body might feel either rushes of heat or rushes of coolness or both at the same time. That happens a lot in the presence of the Sophia dragons because they're holy seraphim. Seraphim are extremely activating. In closing of this ceremony, Isis is walking up now to be right directly behind you. So she's moving from your right side to behind you. And she's bringing her wings around you to help seal in today's Lionsgate transmission as that beautiful white lion returns to face you one last time. As Isis's wings sweep through your mind, through your heart, as you feel the grace of her presence lifting you up, blessing your courage, blessing your womb space, your heart womb space of creation, opening your mind to what's possible through the expansion of your awareness into your greatness, to accepting who you are without apology. I welcome you to receive any final messages from this beautiful Sirian White Lion. And you may receive an action step or a ritual step for this weekend that leads you to the Lion's Gate on Monday. Be sure to journal about these messages. Be sure to journal about this action step that you can create and ceremonially bless yourself with this weekend. And I also invite you this weekend to read page 79 to page 82 of the Sophia Code out loud at your altar or in nature in a sacred space to continue this healing ceremony, this profound prayer work of manifestation during this very important podal with Isis. So this passage comes from the Key Code 1 Isis initiation in the Sophia Code. Again, that would be pages 79 to 82. To close this ceremonial space, I want to thank the entire Sophia Dragon Tribe, all of the guardian angels and archangels and star nations, all of the angels of abundance and all of their forms for blessing us for today's prayer collective call. Thank you to your higher self. Thank you to the presence, the Holy Spirit of God, that is the consciousness from which we are all arising, having this very heroic human journey of ascension. Thank you so much to Hathor and Isis and Green Tara, the Sophia Dragons and the Sirian White Lions. And I know in my heart that all of these beautiful beings go with you into this weekend to guide your ceremonies, your rituals, your play, your rest, and to walk boldly into that August 8th Lionsgate portal. I'll be in deep prayer and meditation this weekend on a personal retreat, and my heart will be with your prayers as well as I lift up our community in sacred time. And so thank you so much for joining us live today and on the replay. It's such an honor to be here with you. We now close this Lionsgate ceremony, knowing in our hearts that all of our helpers and guides go with us. And I'd also like to invite you to join me in Sedona if you'd like to continue to hone these gifts of your psychic and intuitive development, both for your divine purpose and living an intuitively guided life. I'm looking forward to an incredible series of initiations, techniques, and trainings that we're going to be doing live in Sedona at the end of August. So I hope to see you there. Wishing you the very brightest and most celebratory Lionsgate. All my love to you always. Namaste.